say and you take it with you and apply it to your life, then you can have the happiest, most fulfilling, most successful life you ever imagined. You ready for that? Do you believe it's possible? Yeah. Heck yes. Woo. You can say whatever you want. I'll edit it for you. So like I'm going to convey in my message, you guys, really let this in because anything is possible if you say so. So the three things I want to share with you today are: one, the power of your interpretation and being responsible for what you can change. Mm-hmm. You know, interpretation meaning how we see, understand, and make meaning of our lives and what's happening around us. Two, learn from the past, don't live in it. You do not need to be stuck in repeating patterns, or you don't need to stay the person you've always been. There's other possibilities out there. And don't hesitate to ask for and receive support. Does anyone have trouble receiving support? Raise your hands, you don't have to be shy. Audience, you can do it too. Yeah. Sometimes it's challenging for us, but in reality, that's how we get by. We're made to support each other. Take it in, let it. Let people support you. All right, so in order to convey these messages, I want to tell you just a little bit about me, and I won't go on too long. I've cut this down drastically, so be patient. Besides, not many of you know me from an overexcited, hyper stranger. So why would you believe what I have to say? I'd like you to let it in and hear this because I've worked very hard to be in front of you today. The path I was on was never very clear or easy, winding and weaving, often unsure of where I was going. And I've had the opportunity to overcome a lot of what people said about me and the negativity around me. My passion for people to feel awesome about themselves, that really motivates me. And I believe that unless we know that we are loved, valued, and that we belong, we cannot be most effective in anything else in life. How do I know this? Because I've traveled my journey having experienced a lack of love, belonging, and value. To paint a picture of my life and my formative experiences, I'd like to tell you a story about this flannel. Thank you, Miss Fiddler. Strange, right? You're like, what? How's she going to tell a story about a flannel? Stick with me and listen, and you'll get the point. So, I was the first of 3 kids, spent most of my childhood in the farmlands of Ohio, raised by a mom and dad who loved me and cared for me. But for some reason, I never felt good enough. I doubted when people said how awesome I was. I was surprised when people wanted to be my friend. And I always had this feeling like I didn't know myself, I couldn't trust myself, or I didn't know what was best for me. Can anyone relate to that? Maybe? Yeah. Cool. All right. Yes, thank you. Thanks for your honesty. Fast forward to when I started dating my first girlfriend. I knew my parents wouldn't be happy, so I hid it from them. And from then I lived a life built around lies, dishonesty, and one where I ultimately felt like I was bad, or wouldn't be accepted for who I was. When I finally came out to my parents, it was not pretty. My parents only wanted the best for me and thought that being gay would make my life harder. And they didn't really understand who I was or why I felt the way I did. My mom and I would fight and argue all the time, and it was very hurtful, what I heard her say. I felt alone, misunderstood, not good enough the way I was. And why do I share this with you today? First, because I believe that through creating open and honest conversation and being vulnerable about our stuff, we allow others to know they're not alone. Can anyone else relate to not feeling good enough or feeling like those closest to us don't know us or love us? Yeah, absolutely. Look around, you guys. By sharing a little bit about ourselves, we realize we're not alone. So now you ask, what does this flannel have to do with my sob story? That's good, you can laugh. Let me tell you. The impacts of growing up like this stuck with me through the years, and I allowed what others thought of me to influence what I thought of myself. Some of you may know what it's like to be judged, criticized, and like you've experienced, what you've experienced or who you are is going to dictate where you can go. But then I decided I was no longer going to let past experiences define me and how I saw myself. I surrounded myself with people who supported me and knew me and accepted me for who I was. I took responsibility for my interpretations and for what I could do about it, and I chose to believe that something different was possible. And since I've just made that decision, I've taken on some new perspectives, I've used and applied some new tools, a few things I'm sharing with you today, and this has drastically transformed my life and my relationship with my family. I realize that I'm the only one responsible for my actions. I can't be responsible for anyone else or how they act. And that I've wanted to feel accepted and loved from my family, that I needed to give them that first. So although it may hurt, I decided that I would unconditionally love and accept them exactly how they are and exactly how they felt about me. It's not always easy, but that's my commitment. And I choose to believe that even though the past told me that a relationship wouldn't be possible, that they were always going to hurt me, I decided to believe otherwise and believe that a relationship was possible. I could have been a victim to their behavior and write off the possibility of a loving relationship, but instead, I decided to believe that if anything could change, I would do everything I could to make it happen. Once I made that decision, within months, I was given this flannel. And it's important because me, my brother, and my dad all received the same flannel. And it might not mean very much, but going Christmas and birthday after Christmas and birthday receiving girly clothes that I would never wear and then promptly gave to Goodwill, this was a very important gesture. What this said to me was that I was being recognized for the masculine of center person that I am, the unique me, who I am in the world. And I finally felt like I'd gotten, and on top of that, there we go, yes. On top of that, my family and I went on a trip this year. And it was the first time we'd done so in 8 years. Now, have they magically changed their fundamental beliefs? No. But we are in a more loving and open relationship than we ever have been. And most importantly, their view of me no longer dictates my view of myself. So no. And what does this apply to you? How does this apply to you? I really want you guys to know that how the world sees you, how people in your life have seen you, how you've seen yourself, this is not fixed. It's malleable if you say so. You have the power to create your own identity, create your own belief in yourself. Find and surround yourself with people who support you and let that support in. And please know that anything is possible. It starts with you. Because if your view of the world or a thought or belief is limiting, like I don't have the skills or opportunity to be a doctor, or I can't write a book, no one wants to hear my story, let those limiting conversations go. Because as long as you believe anything that limits your potential, you will not be able to actually see what you're capable of. Things may happen. Things will happen. It will appear like people are trying to put you down, and sometimes they are. But in the end, how we view and interpret our life experiences is up to us. You can believe that people won't change, that your dreams aren't possible, or what others says about you is true, or you can view the world and your story as one that empowers you and creates room for something new. Finally, I would not have created these things if I had not asked for and allowed others to support me. Not until I surrounded myself with people who saw me, understood me, and accepted me just as I am, did I have the space and clarity to create these things. There's so many people out there full of understanding, so many people who live to support and lift you up. I'm sure you've met many during your Flex journey. Whatever your unique experience is, go into the world and find those people who welcome you as you are. Connect with them, share with them, and know that you're not alone. So that you can go into the rest of the world that doesn't quite get it yet and leave your mark and leave the world better than you found it. It's all possible if you say so. Believe what you want for yourself. Don't take it personally if others don't get it yet, and find those who are on your side. With that, you can and will do anything. Congratulations, you guys, and go into the world your most empowered selves. Congratulations, Flex Class of 2019.